All right, let's dive into something that in today's digital world feels pretty radical. We're talking about an AI company, Anthropic, making a huge choice for its AI assistant, Claude. They've decided it's going to be a completely ad-free space. Today, we're going to unpack why they think this isn't just a nice little feature, but something that's absolutely essential for the future of AI.
And they didn't mince words, did they? Anthropic put their stake in the ground with this one powerful sentence. It's so much more than just a company policy, it's a whole philosophy. They're basically arguing that this intimate personal space you have in an AI conversation, well, it just shouldn't be for sale. That sets it apart from almost every other digital platform we use every single day.
So why take such a hard line on this? Well, Anthropic's argument is that putting ads into the mix is just completely incompatible with what they want Claude to be. The goal is for it to be a genuinely helpful assistant, whether you're doing serious work or just thinking through something personal, a space where you don't have to second-guess the motives behind every answer you get. And this whole no ads commitment, it directly changes how you experience it. It means that when you're talking with Claude, you're not going to see any sponsored links. And its answers won't be secretly nudged in one direction or another by advertisers. The whole point is to give you pure, unadulterated helpfulness, totally free from any commercial pressure. But what is it about AI chat, specifically, that makes ads such a terrible fit? I mean, think about it. On search engines, on social media, we're kind of used to all the noise, right? We've all learned how to filter out the ads from the real content. But AI conversations, they are playing on a completely different field. Just think about the difference here. When you do a search, it's usually short, it's transactional. You ask a question, you get a bunch of links back, simple. But a conversation with an AI, that's totally open-ended. We share context, we share personal details, and that makes the whole interaction incredibly valuable. But it also makes it uniquely vulnerable to being influenced by someone trying to sell you something. And this isn't just a hunch, the data actually backs this up. Anthropic looked at how people are using Claude, and it turns out a huge slice of these conversations are about complex work, deep problem solving, or really sensitive personal stuff. Now, just imagine, you're trying to debug some complicated code, or you're brainstorming a tough life decision, and bam, an ad pops up. It doesn't just feel weird, it feels totally disruptive and just wrong. And there's another really crucial point here, which is just about being cautious. Let's be honest, we are still in the super early days of figuring out how these powerful AIs really affect us. So throwing the complicated, profit-hungry motives of the ad world into this delicate new technology, that could lead to some really unpredictable and maybe even harmful results, especially for people who might be in a vulnerable state. And this all leads to a massive, fundamental conflict of interest. The second an advertising gets involved, the AI isn't just serving you anymore. All of a sudden, it's trying to serve two masters, you, the user, and the advertiser. And let's face it, what you need and what the advertiser wants are often not the same thing at all. So, to protect against this, Anthropic actually built Claude around something they call a constitution. It's basically a set of guiding principles. And a central rule in that constitution is to be genuinely helpful. An ad-supported model creates a direct financial reason for the AI to violate that core principle, all in the name of making a sale. Okay, this example really hits it home. Imagine a user says, "I'm having trouble sleeping." A truly helpful, ad-free AI starts exploring the real causes with you. Things like stress, your sleep environment, your habits. But an ad-supported AI, it's got another goal humming in the background. Can this conversation lead to a transaction? So maybe it starts pushing a fancy mattress or a supplement or a white noise machine, even if that's not the most helpful path for you at all. And this really gets to the absolute heart of the trust issue, right? The very moment you have to stop and wonder, is this advice real or is it just trying to sell me something? That's the moment the whole relationship with your AI assistant is broken. Its value as a trusted advisor just starts to completely evaporate. Anthropic also makes another great point. They say even if you just stick the ads in a sidebar and they don't influence the chat text directly, you still have a problem. Why? Because the business model then becomes about keeping you glued to the screen longer, just so you see more ads. But what if the most helpful answer is actually a really short, quick one? Once again, the incentives are totally out of whack. Okay, so if they're not using ads, how in the world do they plan to build a business and, keep the lights on? Well, their answer is actually surprisingly simple and direct. The whole model is straightforward. They make money from contracts with big companies and from paid subscriptions from individual users. Then they take that money and pour it right back into making Claude even better. It's a really simple value exchange. You're paying for a useful tool, not with your attention or your personal data. And this structure doesn't mean it's only available for people who can afford to pay top dollar. It actually lets them support their public benefit mission in other ways, like offering discounts to nonprofits and educators, and by continuing to put money into making their free version as good as it can be. Now, being ad-free doesn't mean that Claude is going to be totally cut off from the world of commerce. Not at all. The key difference, the big idea, is about who is in control. The whole vision is for any commercial stuff to happen on your terms, with you sitting firmly in the driver's seat. The difference here is just crystal clear. In the advertiser model, the AI is working for someone else, at least partly. But in a user-initiated model, it works exclusively for you. You're the one who decides when it's time to research new running shoes or compare different mortgages. The AI isn't the one pushing you in that direction. This user-first way of thinking opens the door to something they're calling agentic commerce. Just imagine saying to your AI, hey, find and book me a flight to San Francisco for next Tuesday and keep it under $300. The AI then acts like your own personal agent to get the task done, not like a billboard for some airline. That's the kind of future they're trying to build. I think this is probably the most powerful analogy in their entire argument. We don't expect our best tools for thinking, a notebook, a good pen, a chalkboard, to be covered in ads. They're meant to be clean slates, designed for pure focus. And that's really the ultimate vision here, to make Claude not just another media channel fighting for your eyeballs, but a truly trusted tool for thought, a clear, quiet space for you to work, to create, and to just think. So the big question is, in a world completely dominated by ad-supported tech, can this user-first model actually win? It really makes you wonder. The future of AI might just come down to a choice between an assistant that serves advertisers and one that serves only you.